Welcome to the MOOCs course Community Engagement and Social Responsibility. Today we will discuss Unit 2 entitled Community Engagement in Entrepreneurship. This whole unit is divided into two modules. We will discuss Module 1 focused on participatory rural appraisal, Jugaad and self-help groups. In the fourth part of Module 1 of Unit 2, we study the various common property resources like fish farming and water scarcity. In the previous part, we have studied participatory rural appraisal, rural development programs. So, in the last point, we have studied about the efficient use of resources. So, for any development or for any rural development program, we should more focus on the common property resources. What type of resources that village has, we have to use them in an efficient manner. So, resources that are available to the whole community in the village and over which no single person has exclusive property rights should be used. For example, in a village, we have a common grazing ground. So that common grazing ground is not an exclusive property of anyone. So where the villagers can take their animals or take their cattle for their grazing on that ground. Like ponds or the water bodies which are present in a village, that all persons have equal right on that water. The woods they found in the nearby areas for their livelihood. So these common property resources can be used for any development program. So now we are talking an example, or we are taking an example of ponds and fisheries in the village area. The water pond and fisheries. What is a pond? A controlled pond, or it is an artificial lake or a reservoir that is supplied with fish or fish farming, and then it is known as a fish pond. So we have a pond, we have a controlled pond in which we have supplied some fish and the fish farming can be continued on that pond. So because of the diverse uses and multiple owners, water quality control in village tanks and ponds is more difficult and less desirable. So in villages, we all know that there is some problem with water, and we have to seek out, or we have to see what type of measures we can do to control water parameters so that we can have an efficient fish farming, and which is basically desirable. This ponds and fisheries, or to develop this ponds and fisheries in the farmers or in the villages, the state fish farmer development agencies provide farmers with technical and financial aid for digging ponds and enhancing the current water area. So this fish farmer development agency is a state level agency. This provide farmers with some financial or technological aids. They help these farmers how to dig the wells, how to dig the ponds, or how to renovate the current water area. So by exploiting the wasteland and underused water areas, these agencies have brought fish culture to the state. Now, what are the function of this fish farmer development agencies? These fish farmer development agencies helps in renovating or reclamation of the water bodies. They basically help in the renovation part. Then establishment of training facilities for the fish producer. The villagers which was initially working in some area and want to switch to the another area, they have to train first. So the establishment of the training facilities is also provided by these fish farmer development agency. The state produces flowing water fish culture also. So pond is in a controlled area, but these agencies also provide flowing water fish culture, providing farmers with fish farming instruction. They provide instruction which is required or which should be followed in fish farming. Production of integrated fish farming. Integrated means combining two different farmings at the same place. So here is a picture which is shown in this slide, which basically depicts an integrated way of fish farming in which hut is formed over the pond. In the fish farming is done in the water, whereas the hut having a pig farming. So in this type of way, they can earn or they can make money in more ways. So this is an integrated way of farming, and new ponds are also built under the function of fish farmer development agencies. So now we will discuss about the objective of community inland fisheries. The first objective of community inland fisheries is making full use of available water in rural areas. So we have to make sure what type of water resources available in the rural areas, they can be used fully, like the ponds, wells, rivers, flowing water, etc. The second objective of community inland fisheries is providing additional income to the community. Organization to sustain the maintenance of rural water ecosystem. They also provide protein-rich food. As we all know that fish is a very much protein-rich food form. So if they are doing these type of farmings in their areas, they are going to have some additional nutrition to the rural community. And it also generate employment for inland fishermen and landless agricultural laborers. This fish farming is basically depends upon the water. As we all know that we are facing water scarcity. Globally, more than 1 billion people lack access to safe drinking water, and currently nearly one third of the world population lives in water stressed areas, and this is expected to increase to two-thirds by 2025. Scarcity of water in India affects 100 millions of people across the country. Tens of millions of children cannot go to school as they must have to fetch water every day. We all know that in the village areas, the women have to go several kilometers to just fetch some water for their families. Currently, 30% of the rural population lack access to drinking water, and only 7 have full availability of drinking water for rural inhabitants. So this graph is basically showing the India which is suffering from a worst water crisis in its history. So you can see from this graph the 600 million people face high to extreme water stress. 75% of households do not have drinking water on premise. 84% of rural households do not have piped water access, and 70% of our water is contaminated. So on the basis of these data, India is currently ranked 120 amongst the 122 countries in the water quality index. This graph basically showing the principal chemical contaminants found in the different regions of the India. So the color of the graph basically shows the access to the treated water. The light colored areas are like Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and the Bihar. These regions have less than 10% of treated water which is accessible for the people there. Then the dots, the colorful dots basically shows the contaminants which is found in the respective state. So we can see different areas have different type of contamination. For example, arsenic is being found in the region of Bihar, and it can also find in the region of Uttar Pradesh, whereas fluoride, which is found in almost all the states in the India. So if we see, the 1.4 million children die from diarrhea and other water related disorders because of these consumption of the contaminated water. And this already and indirectly or directly also related to the sanitation concept. Therefore, in this part, we studied about the various common property resources like fish farming, water scarcity and its contamination. In the next part, we will discuss about the water management system, sustainability development goals related to water and Jugaad. Thank you.